you know that for every $1 a white man makes, on average, a woman will make 82 cents? According to the website AmericanProgress.org, a white man will make $1 for every 54 cents a Hispanic/Latino woman makes, and for every $1 a white man makes, an American Indian woman will make 57 cents. Today I will talk about the downsides of the gender wage gap and how it affects women. Then I will give a solution to this problem and explain how it will better the lives of everyone. And finally, I will show some opposing points of view and explain why my solution would still work even with their contradicting point of view. So, the first problem with the gender wage gap involves single mothers and how they often have a hard time caring for their children because they don't make as much money as men do, so they can't really take care of themselves on their own as well as another human being. So in a baby's first year of life, a mother will spend around $13,000 in baby-related expenses such as food, diapers, and formula. And in addition to spending money on your child and buying toys and stuff for them, it also costs money just to give birth in general. But if you have insurance, the cost will be significantly lower because giving birth is considered one of the 10 essential health benefits, but you still will be paying some cash out of pocket. And then another problem is that even with college degrees, women aren't really making as much money as their male counterparts. So it makes sense that if you had a college degree, you would be making more money than somebody that doesn't have a college degree. But that isn't really always the case. According to the CNBC, a woman with her bachelor's degree will make the same amount of money as a man with his associate's degree. So a woman has to go to college for twice the amount of time and work twice as hard just to earn the same amount of money as a man does. And I say she has to work twice as hard because an associate's degree takes 2 years of college and a bachelor's degree takes 4. So that's double the amount of time and effort that you're putting into college just to make the same amount of money as a man. And then this could also be in part because career paths that are dominated by women and that are women's jobs generally earn less money than a male-dominated career path does. And then another problem is unequal pay leaves women less secure in their retirement. So women in retirement often struggle more than men who are in retirement because of the unequal pay between the two of them. And women tend to have less money by the time retirement comes around because they make less each year, so they have less to put into their savings to save for retirement. And according to the Government Accountability Office website, it says that women contribute 30% less to their retirement savings than men contribute, and that's mainly just because that they don't make as much as men, so they have less to actually save for retirement. And even I know some women that are old enough to retire, but they just don't. Even though they've been working every day for their whole lives, they wouldn't have enough money to be able to live the way that they are if they were to retire. If they were to just stop working and go into retirement, they would have to either move houses because their house costs too much to be able to live in, or they would have to severely make budget cuts to the way that they live. And I don't really think that's fair. Okay, and then the solution to be able to help our women, I think, is simple. Men and women should be getting paid the same amount of money. Now, I know it sounds like a really obvious statement, and I don't think any decent person would disagree with me, but here's how we're going to fix this. So in each job position, no matter the person's gender or race or anything, every person will make the same amount of money. And because of that, every person will have an equal pay. So basically, just to clarify, if you're working with a company and it's your first year, working, you're just starting out, your pay will be the same amount as another person that's just starting to work in that company. So your position that you're working at, if you're their first entry-level position, everybody else in that position will have the same amount of money being made. It doesn't matter who you are, just that position and that first year you're making the same amount of money. So it depends on how long you've worked with a company is how much you're earning. So if you've been with the company for 5 years, they're gonna make more than somebody who's been with the company for 1 year. And then differences in salary will still like, be based on the type of job and like the position, as I've said, meaning like obviously a cashier probably would still make a lot less annual money than a lawyer, but I just mean like within that career path and within that position, women and men will make the same amount of money. And then, so if the solution were to go through, women would have more incentives to want to go to work. So one of the main reasons women don't get paid the same amount of money as men is because of the amount of time that they actually spend working. Because women often go out on like family leave, and because they're like the primary caregivers to like children and everything, they often like have to like leave work, and some women even like choose to like work part-time so they can take care of their children. And then with my solution, as long as the woman is like part of a company and she like, if she gets pregnant or has valid reason to like go out of work for family reasons, she'll still get paid even for the time that she's out. And according to AmericanProgress.org, having access to paid family and medical leave actually makes women more likely to come back to work and to return to work faster. So that's like a little incentive for the women. And then with that, like the women would have money to take care of their families, especially the single mothers, the problem that I brought up, how they don't have enough money to take care of their kids. If they are making the same amount as men, and they do have that paid family time and like that paid like maternity leave, then it's more incentive for them to like come back to work, and it's just better all around for them. And then I also had said that women would be able to retire on their own. Like the women that I know who can't retire, she'd be able to retire because she's making the same amount of money as everybody else. So like she'd be able to retire on her own and not have to like rely on like a partner or a husband or anything to help her out. And while this seems like a great idea, some people might have some problems with it or issues that they don't really think I thought out well. So one problem with it could be somebody says, what about people that do really good in their work or they're like excelling in their job? Like if everybody gets paid the same, how will people get raises? So with that, I would say that like people who do exceptional work still can get like a little bonus, not really like a raise where like you make more, like if you get paid every 2 weeks, your paycheck doesn't look different from everybody else's. But like it would be a bonus. So like at school, like if I hand in like an exceptional paper, I get like a little extra credit like token. So it could be something like that where like if you do like a really good job in your career, then you get like a little cash bonus or something. But like everybody still makes the same amount of money baseline. And then what about the people who have like a higher education and are getting paid the same amount as people with a lower education? So basically that would kind of go along with like you getting paid the same amount as people in your position. So like if you have higher education and like a better degree than somebody else, you would have a higher position than them. And the higher positions get paid more than lower positions, but you're still getting paid the same amount as everybody in your position and the same amount as people on your level basically. So yeah. And then like again with how I said like based on the amount of time that you spend, like if you're in a higher position, it would still be the same. Like if you're in that position for 5 years, you would definitely be making more than somebody that's been in it for 1 year. And then the last one is, why would we pay women who are out on family leave if they aren't actually working? So honestly for that one, I just say they're still members of the company and they still do like their best and they have been working with you for a long time. And it's only like a courtesy to like not take their money away from them when it's something that's natural. I think it's kind of like a punishment, like if you like fire women who get pregnant or if you just stop paying them just because they do have to go out and take care of their families. I don't really think that's right. And as I've mentioned before, like women who do have this benefit, who have like paid like family leave, they come back to work sooner and yeah. So in conclusion, I talked about the problems women face in regard to the gender wage gap, and I gave a solution to these problems as well as showing you how it would work. And finally, I showed why even though some people may not really agree with it, my solution still would work, and I think it would be a good change for society. And I think it's important that everyone is treated equally, and we all have the same opportunities to be financially stable, no matter who we are. Thank you.
Thank you.
Show yourself.